Admiral Zektor's mandibles clicked with satisfaction as he gazed at the blue marble suspended in the void. Earth, the third planet of an unremarkable yellow star, home to a species that had barely crawled beyond their own atmosphere when the hegemony first cataloged them. That was 50 cycles ago. Now these humans had spread to a handful of nearby systems, thinking themselves significant. The Admiral's thoughts were interrupted by his communications officer. "Sir, we're receiving a transmission from the planet's surface, audio only. Put it through," Zektor commanded, his four eyes gleaming with amusement. This would be the customary surrender, groveling pleas for mercy, offers of tribute, perhaps even volunteered slaves. The pattern was always the same. A gravelly human voice filled the bridge. "This is General Sarah Chen of the United Earth Defense Force. You have entered our space without permission and positioned your fleet in a threatening manner. You have 30 minutes to withdraw, or we will consider this an act of war." The bridge fell silent. Several officers exchanged glances of disbelief. Zektor's mandibles spread wide in what passed for laughter among his species. "Amusing," he said, gesturing for the channel to be opened. "Human General, I am Admiral Zektor of the Eternal Hegemony. We do not withdraw. You will surrender your planet and your species will serve the Empire, or we will take it by force. You have 1 standard hour to comply." "Counteroffer," came the immediate response. "Go to hell." The channel went dead. Zektor's amusement faded. In 300 cycles of conquest, no species had ever responded with such audacity. The Vekler had pleaded. The Zunari had tried to negotiate. The proud Altheans had at least offered formal surrender with dignity. But this? "Sir," his tactical officer called out, "I'm detecting massive energy signatures across the planet's surface. They appear to be powering something. Orbital defense platforms?" "Negative, sir. The signatures are too large, too dispersed. It's almost like they're powering the entire planet." Before Zektor could respond, space around his fleet began to shimmer. Not the gentle distortion of hyperspace entry, but something else, something that made his sensory organs ache. "Report," he barked. "Unknown energy phenomenon, Admiral. It's everywhere. The entire system is being flooded with some kind of exotic radiation." On the view screen, Earth began to glow. Not the soft blue-white of its star's reflection, but a deep, angry red that seemed to pulse like a heartbeat. The planet's magnetic field, normally invisible, became a writhing aurora of crimson energy that stretched far beyond its natural boundaries. "Sir," the communications officer's voice cracked. "I'm picking up transmissions, thousands of them all across human space. They're coordinating something." Zektor's confidence wavered. The hegemony's intelligence reports had mentioned humanity's odd tendency toward cooperation, but this seemed beyond anything they'd observed. Every human world, every station, every ship, all moving in perfect synchronization. The first shot came from Luna. What the humans called their moon erupted in a pillar of coherent energy that reached across space like the finger of an angry god. The beam struck Zektor's flagship dead center, but instead of the expected destruction, the ship's shields held, barely. The Admiral realized with growing horror that this wasn't a weapon designed to destroy his fleet. It was designed to announce intent. "Admiral," his science officer whispered, "the energy output from that single shot, it's equivalent to our main battle cannon. But the moon isn't a military installation. According to our intelligence, it's mostly civilian research facilities and mining operations." More beams lanced out from Earth itself, dozens of them, each one precisely targeted at a different ship in the hegemony fleet. Not to destroy, but to demonstrate. The message was clear. "We can hit any one of you anytime we want." But it was what happened next that truly shook Zektor to his core. The stars began to move. Not literally, his rational mind knew that. But throughout human space, artificial structures were lighting up like newborn suns. Space stations, asteroid mining platforms, generation ships thought to be in deep hibernation, all of them blazing with the same red energy that now surrounded Earth. "How many?" Zektor asked quietly. His tactical officer's voice was barely audible. 15,000 discrete energy sources, sir, and that's just what we can detect from here. 15,000. The hegemony's own intelligence had suggested humanity possessed perhaps a few dozen significant military installations. But this implied that every human structure, every habitat, every ship was potentially a weapon. The communication channel crackled back to life. Admiral Zektor. General Chen's voice was steady, conversational even. Do you know what makes humans different from every other species you've conquered? Zektor said nothing. You see war as a tool of conquest. We see it as a continuation of politics by other means. You come to our world expecting us to kneel because your fleet is large. But you're not fighting our fleet, Admiral. You're fighting our entire civilization. The red glow around Earth pulsed brighter. Every human world, every station, every ship from here to Alpha Centauri, we built them all with one thing in mind, that someday someone like you would come. And when that day came, we wouldn't just fight back. The energy signatures throughout human space synchronized, creating a web of power that connected every human presence in the galaxy. We'd burn the very void itself to ashes before we'd kneel. Zektor stared at the tactical display. His fleet of 200 vessels, the largest the hegemony had ever assembled, suddenly seemed very small against the backdrop of an entire species united in defiance. Sir, his communications officer said quietly, we're receiving surrender requests. From the humans? No, sir, from our own ships. Admiral Zektor looked one last time at the angry red star that had once been a blue world. For the first time in his military career, he gave an order he'd never thought he'd speak. All vessels withdraw to minimum safe distance. Signal the Hegemony Council. We need to discuss terms. As his fleet retreated, the red glow around Earth faded back to its natural blue. But Zektor knew he would never forget that sight, an entire world transformed into a weapon by the sheer fury of its inhabitants. The Empire had demanded humanity kneel. Humanity had answered with the fire of stars and the fury of an unconquerable spirit.